Hello dear RPITians, hope you all are fine and safe. Today we'll study about a very common condition that is tennis elbow and the role of physiotherapy including the same. Tennis elbow, also known as lateral epicondylitis, is caused by a strain to tendons in the forearm. The tendons become inflamed where they join the bony part on the outside of your elbow. When the tendon is repeatedly stressed or aggravated, it becomes inflamed where they join the bony part on the outside of your elbow joint. Any activity that involves gripping and twisting of the forearm can cause this type of strain. Most cases are not related to tennis or any type of exercises. This is the figure showing the common condition, showing some important structures of lateral elbow, that is the lateral epicondyle, common extensor tendon, extensor muscles. Golfer's elbow is a similar condition that affects the inside of the elbow joint near the funny bone, and this is a common and often lingering condition which can become chronic if not treated correctly. Causes of tennis elbow: it occurs when there is a problem with the tendon which is called the extensor carpi radialis brevis muscle tendon that attaches to the outside part of the elbow bone called the lateral epicondyle, thus giving tennis elbow the medical name lateral epicondylitis. This tendon is the attachment site of the muscle that functions to cock the wrist back, that is called wrist extension. It's important to note that tennis elbow is not simply a tendon inflammation, rather it is the result of repetitive use, and experts believe that incompletely healed microscopic tears develop within the tendon. This leads to a degenerative wear and tear process and subsequent pain and tenderness felt at the outside of the elbow. While tennis elbow may occur on its own, there are two groups of people that are especially vulnerable to developing this condition. One is the sports participants, another are the laborers. Sports participants like athletes, racket sports players are there. They are prone to developing tennis elbow. About a third of amateur tennis players experience tennis elbow at some point in their careers. In addition to racket sports, tennis elbow is also seen in golfers, fencers, and other sports participants. In manual laborers who work with their hands are of greater risk of developing tennis elbow. Jobs that may lead to tennis elbow include plumbers, painters, gardeners, and carpenters. Besides, activities that require repetitive gripping and grasping, trauma in the form of direct hit to the elbow which leads to tendon swelling can also cause tennis elbow, although this is a less common culprit. The most common symptoms of tennis elbow are an aching or a burning pain over the outside of the elbow that is worsened by gripping or lifting. Pain starts with the elbow but then may spread to the forearm, and a weak grip strength. Pain associated with tennis elbow usually has a gradual onset, but it may also come on suddenly. Pain can be highly variable too, ranging from very mild to severe and debilitating. Diagnosis of tennis elbow is made through a medical history and a physical examination. Additional tests may be ordered to rule out other conditions that causes elbow pain. So besides tennis elbow, there are several other causes of pain over the outside of elbow, including instability of joint, elbow arthritis, radial tunnel syndrome, and cervical radiculopathy. These conditions are generally considered if symptoms are not typical for tennis elbow or if a person with presumed tennis elbow doesn't respond to treatment. Medical history and physical examination. In addition to inquiring about the characteristics of your elbow pain, location, severity, Dr. might ask about any potential risk factors like whether you have participated in a certain job or sports-related activities or experienced a recent elbow injury or trauma. Your therapist or doctor will also ask about your medical history like whether you have a history of rheumatoid arthritis or elbow nerve impairment. During the physical examination, doctor will press on your elbow at various sites to evaluate the tenderness. And with tennis elbow, there is usually tenderness about 1 cm from the lateral epicondyle itself. The therapist will also move or flex and extend your wrist while your arm and elbow are held out to see if this increases or reduces your pain. Some clinical tests which can confirm the diagnosis for tennis elbow are one is the Cousin sign, which is an active test. Place an elbow at 90 degrees, pronate your forearm. Now dorsiflex the wrist against resistance. You might feel pain at the lateral condyle and the test becomes positive. Mill sign, which is a passive sign. While palpating the lateral epicondyle, the examiner pronates the forearm and passive flexion of wrist fully and then extend the elbow, and this produces the pain at the lateral epicondyle. Third is the resistant extension of the middle finger. Give resistance just distal to PIP joint of the middle finger with forearm in pronation. It comes positive in tennis elbow with pain at the lateral epicondyle. In radial tunnel syndrome, pain is at 4 cm distal to lateral epicondyle. These are some pictures showing the tennis elbow test. Like in level 1, palpate the area. You will feel the tenderness at the lateral epicondyle. Push hand against resistance, you will feel pain at the lateral epicondyle. Push middle finger and hold a chair with your thumb, index and the middle finger. This produces pain at the lateral epicondyle. Some other tests may be used to diagnose in some of the above conditions. For example, while X-ray should be normal with the tennis elbow, it may reveal changes consistent with elbow arthritis. MRI scan is often normal, but in some individuals, affected tendon may show some abnormal changes. Other tests like the NCV or electromyography conducted to rule out a nerve compression. So when you go and see a doctor, the following symptoms should be discussed with your therapist or doctor before initiating any treatment, like unable to carry objects or use your arm, elbow pain that occurs at night or when resting, elbow pain that persists beyond a few days, unable to straighten or flex your arm, swelling or significant bruising around the joint or arm, any other unusual symptoms. Now we're heading towards the physiotherapy treatment, which is the main treatment for treating the tennis elbow condition. It is divided into two phases, phase 1, phase 2. Phase 1 is the acute stage of your injury, and you should do 3 things at the phase 1. Rest, use ice and wear a brace. Rest means avoiding further overuse but not total avoidance of movement. You should continue your day-to-day activities, but wherever possible avoid activities that can aggravate the injury. Pain is the best guide to determine that appropriate type and level of activity. Try to avoid aggravating symptoms. Use of ice is recommended if inflammation is present. Using ice relieves pain and muscle spasm. Ensure that ice is wrapped in a towel, then place on the painful area for a maximum of 20 minutes at a time. Wear a brace. This is recommended by your physiotherapist. In phase 2, we are heading towards the stretching and the strengthening exercises. Stretching, the arm should be held in front with the elbow fully extended and the palm facing the floor as shown in the figure. Hold the stretch for 20 seconds and repeat it 2 to 3 times per day. Vigorous stretching avoid करनी है. Do not continue into pain, but you may feel some discomfort. Second part of phase 2 is the strengthening exercises with the elbow bent and the wrist supported. Perform the following exercises. And when completing the exercises, hold at the point of discomfort for 5 seconds and then relax. Aim to repeat the exercises 10 times, 3 times per day. Aim to perform these 3 times a week and alternate days. First is the wrist extension exercise. Place a small weight and the hand with the palm facing down. Support the forearm at the edge of a table or on your knees so that only your hand can move. Raise your hand slowly as far as possible and lower slowly as shown in the diagram. And in second is the wrist flexion, just opposite that. Place a small weight in the hand with the palm facing upwards. Support the forearm as above. Bend the wrist up slowly as far as possible and lower slowly. Third is the forearm pronation or supination. Grasp a rolling pin in the middle with the forearm supported. Rotate the hand slowly so that the palm is facing down. Then return to the starting position. Then rotate the hand to the palm up position. Slowly return to the starting position. To increase the resistance, move the hand further towards the end of the rolling pin. Fourth one is the finger extension. Place a rubber band around all your fingertips. Spread the fingers against resistance as shown in the diagram. To increase the resistance, add a second band. Fourth is the ball squeezing exercises. Place a rubber ball or other squeezable object like a hand towel in the palm of your hand and squeeze. So at the end, I'll try to recommend you that do not continue into pain, but you may feel some discomfort or aching after completing the exercises. When you can perform the exercises without pain, the load or the speed should be increased gradually. Your physiotherapist will guide you on this further. When your symptoms are resolved, you have gained full range of movement and strength, you may increase your level of activities to its normal level. So thank you students. Hope you all understand the lecture. Now it's your time to study well. Thank you and have a great day.